So this is a really unlikely story.
This is Dr. Shelby Temple, and his story starts with showing videos to an octopus and ends with a device that could protect the eyesight of millions of people.
I was studying octopus, cuttlefish, fish, small crustaceans. This my field sign. And octopus and cuttlefish, for example, don't see any color at all. They do not see color. Instead of seeing color, which is the wavelength of light, so if you imagine a skipping rope going up and down or moving around, it has a wavelength. But that skipping rope also has an orientation. So if you're, instead of spinning, if you're going up and down, it's vertical, or side to side, it's horizontal. So octopus and cuttlefish, instead of seeing color, they see the orientation of those waves as they travel through space. And we call that polarization. And so in order to test how well an octopus or cuttlefish can see polarization, I had to kind of invent new ways of testing their vision, because computer monitors and everything else we might use to test color vision in humans doesn't work on them if they don't see color. So we discovered that we could actually modify an LCD computer monitor by basically peeling off the outside polarizer. And then what happens is the monitor to you and I just looks white. There's nothing there. But an octopus sees it kind of like we do. They see all the patterns and everything moving.
Showing these invisible stimuli to the animals prompted strong reactions, showing that they can see polarization with precision just like we see color. But then Dr. Shelby noticed something.
I had these monitors, and every now and then I'd look at them and go, that's funny. I see a bit of pattern on there. Humans aren't supposed to see polarization. What's going on?
It turns out we can see polarized light in the form of Haidinger's brush.
And Haidinger's brush is this very faint yellow bow tie that you see when you look at a uniformly white polarized image, and you either rotate the polarization or rotate your head. Then I found that I had asked all my colleagues to look at my screens. Can you see that? I can see it. Okay, what if I do this? Can you see it now? Oh no, I can't see it so well. I'd be like, well, I can still see it. How come you can't see it?
He had inadvertently found a way to test how much polarization people can detect. And this reflects something important about eye health: the amount of macular pigments someone has.
Well, it turned out that people had different amounts of these pigments, and the more pigments you had, the easier you could see the effect. So what I had serendipitously made was a way to assess macular pigments.
Macular pigment is one of nature's ways of protecting the eye from damaging light. Our lens and cornea absorb ultraviolet light, which might cause damage, but blue and violet light that comes all the way to the vulnerable back of the eye can be harmful too over time.
Now, what these pigments do is they absorb violet blue light really, really well.
They sit directly in front of the retina, and a regular supply of them, topped up by eating healthy food like green vegetables, keeps absorbing light and protecting the eye from damage.
And that's why we need to keep replacing our macular pigments all the time. Because in order for them to do their job of blocking blue light and acting as antioxidants, we need to have enough of them there to solve the problems when they come up.
Monitoring this supply could flag problems like macular degeneration well in advance, while there's still time to take action. But until now, opticians haven't had any easy way to measure it. Dr. Temple realized he had something that could help a lot of people and be a smart business idea. So with help from his university and some partners, he set about refining the discovery.
So we formed a company called Azul Optics, and we've been doing the R&D, testing the technology, testing it with the market, and we're now at a point where we've got this device that just sort of plugs right in. An optometrist can add it to what they already do as part of a regular eye test. It adds about 1 or 2 minutes to the whole process. But what it does is it identifies people that, really need to do a little bit more to look after their eye health, and then gives them some great suggestions on how to do it. And when I started to realize that it was going to have an impact, I got really excited, because so often we do science in isolation. We write these papers, we do this really amazing science, and we hope that one day it'll have impact and affect people. But so often it becomes lovely papers and nothing happens for years later, or nothing happens at all. But to have seen this through from crazy idea, field work with cuttlefish and octopus, through to now going into practices and seeing it actually help people, it makes me feel really good inside to know that my crazy idea that I just kept pushing on eventually became something.